If you've started a business and you've successfully scaled it to about $100,000, you're going to find that you start running out of time. Now, particularly for coaches and consultants, this becomes a real problem because you have the ability to sell, you have the ability to change people's lives, but you have no more room. And so you're sitting there and you're asking yourself, so what do I do? Do I hire more people and teach others my process, or do I create a course? And for myself and a lot of other people, creating a course seems to be much easier. So, you create a workshop or an online program or something that's going to allow people to consume your content without you being there. On this video, I want to talk you through the 10 steps of building out that course so that you can make it happen and turning into a real success easily. A lot of people get this wrong. I've been lucky enough to make millions of dollars over the last few years by creating courses that work. And this is a real skill, and I want to show you how to make this happen. So look, if you're watching this video, you really need to be able to deliver some sort of result for people, at least one-on-one. If you don't have that, this really isn't going to be the video for you. I really talk to the practitioners, the healers, the coaches, the consultants, the people that have something to teach. They're already doing some sort of one-on-one and they're trying to transition out of that. If that's you, I know your pain. I understand where you're coming from, and I want to give you this. Now, the first thing to really understand is you must have a hungry market. Please don't think that building a course is going to change your sales problems. It's not. If you can't sell what you've already got, step number one is make sure you've got a hungry market, okay? If you don't have a hungry market, you need to go find a market full of people who are hungry, ready to consume, they want it. A lot of times people come to me, oh, I want to sell a course. I go, okay, great, awesome. What are your sales at now? Well, I'm having problems selling what I'm selling. Well, see, the thing is, if they're not going to buy you doing it one-on-one, they're really not going to buy it as a course. So to do that, the second step is to really interview and understand the needs of your current customers. 95% of people that I've talked to really have not interviewed the people that they want to serve. They haven't sat on the phone, they haven't talked to them, they haven't interviewed, they haven't understood what their needs are, what their wounds are, what their wants are, what's going on for them. And to me, that's absolutely crazy. So the first step, make sure you've got a hungry market. Second step, really interview and understand the needs of your customers. So I'm going to assume that you've got that. Step number 3 is to do some competitor analysis. So one of the shortcuts is understand you're likely in a competitive market. And what that means is that there's so much information out there for you. You can go look at competitors' prices, their pitches, their persona. You can understand everything that they do, what they're selling, their inclusions, their benefits, their features. So I highly recommend that you do an in-depth competitor analysis. And so once you've done that, it's time to decide. Now, when you're doing it one-on-one, you really can be flexible. So, you add a few more things in here, you do less there, you change it up based on the customer's needs. Well, when it comes to building your course, it's time to decide on one problem. I call this point A. Decide on one problem and then one solution. Like, where are you going to take them? One destination, one solution, because you need to create your framework. Now, frameworks to me are the most important part, okay? And this is step number 5, is to create your framework. So what would you do with one client taking them from this problem to this solution? How are you going to repeat that? Well, the process that we use is post-it noting. And so what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're sitting in front of the client that you want to serve, and you're going to get post-it notes, and you're going to post-it note out every little thing that you would do with them, have them do. So I want you to think about, what do they need to know? What do they need to be able to do? What do they need to change with their thinking? What tools do they need? What systems do they need? And just put everything out there, okay? Once you've got it all out there, I want you to start grouping it into, steps or into pillars or into quadrants. Start grouping it in a way that makes sense so that people can go, there's a framework. I start here, I go here. So a good example is I teach people how to become a highly paid speaker. Over here, they don't know how to sell their products from stage. Over here, they can sell their products from stage. I have a 3-step process that takes them through there, okay? First this, then this, then this. Now, when we teach people to become a marketing consultant, we say, look, over here, you're in a job. Over here, you're making 6 figures as a consultant. These are what you've got to learn. Here's the framework. So you need a framework. Once you've got your framework, I don't want you to go and race and record. I actually want you to enroll beta clients. And so this is step 6, enroll beta clients. And the reason why I really want to convince you to enroll beta clients is it is much more fun and easier for you to just take a group, say 5 or 10 people through who have paid you a small amount through the process. Whether it's a 2-day workshop that you're creating this program for, whether it's an online course, whatever it is that you're creating, take some people through it. So the way to do that is you create your framework, you understand what's going to be in there, and you get out there and you sell it to your existing database. You sell it to the people who already know you, and you say, hey, I've got this new program that I'm doing. Here's its benefits, here's its features, here's what it's doing, and I'd like to get some people to come through a pilot or a beta group, so pilot group. And basically this just means, the testers. They're going to come through, they're going to learn, they're going to tell you what's going on, what's good, what's bad. They're going to help you build it. Here's a hard thing to do. A hard thing to do is to sit behind the camera and record the whole thing first take without any customer input and then go try to sell it at full price. That is difficult. You're much easier to sell it at a low price, get a test group through and work it out with them. As long as you know the stuff, you can always get on the phone and help them if there's anything going wrong, whatever. Do the beta launch. So step 7 is to take them through the whole framework and take them through the beta product, take the beta group through. Once you've done that I really want you to get feedback from everybody in the group. So every person that you've taken through a beta group, I want you to ask them, what is it that they needed to tell you? How could it get better? What could you do to help them out? How could this thing actually be improved? Take all of that feedback on, and now step number 9 is to finally do the finished product. That is where you're going to take all of the sessions or the recording of how you took that first group through or whatever it is, and then you're going to turn that and you're going to re-record parts of it, you're going to take parts out, you're going to add bits in, and you're going to create your polished program. That leads you to step 10 where you're able to relaunch. I would suggest using a webinar, which I'll talk about in a video that I'll have on this site, is re-release the final product at the true price. So the steps are: 1, find a hungry market. Number 2, interview, understand their needs. Number 3, competitor analysis, really look at what the other competitors are doing. 4, decide on the problem, decide on the solution. 5, create your framework. 6, enroll a beta group. 7, take the beta group through the course. 8, get all their feedback. 9, improve, re-record, finish and finalize your product. And then 10, re-release the final product. Look, creating an online course or a workshop can be very profitable. In fact, I'll talk about how to create $1 million from it. It's likely if you're watching this, you've bought a course for $1,000. It's likely you spent a few $1,000s or maybe a college education. So you've spent money. So let's just talk about some price points here. At $1,000 price point, you need 1,000 people to sign up to make 1.2 million in a year. 1,000. So you need 1,000 thousands. That's going to make $1 million. Now, to figure out how that could work, that's only around about 100 people a month to buy it at $1,000. So if we look at that, let's say you sold it at a $2,000 price point. Well, at $2,000, you only need 500 people to say yes over the year, or about 45 people a month. Like, it's not that much. At a $3,000 price point, about 330, about 30 people a month. And so it's very, very, very simple when you break it down. You go, wow, cool. So if I have a $3,000 course that people can go through and they love it and it's good and it's great, fantastic. All I need to do is get 30 people in a month and I have $1 million. And that is cool. Now, in another video, I talk about the different levels of your course. Have a do-it-yourself version, a done-with-you mastermind version, and a premium version. So make sure you go check that out. I also talk about webinars and selling from stage, 2 things I highly recommend. And if you're watching this and you enjoyed it, just leave a comment below or subscribe to this channel or share it with someone who needs to know. I truly believe that if you've got something to teach, turning it into an online course is a really, 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 really great way to make great money and to help a lot of people. So leave some questions. If you didn't understand anything or you want me to cover something in more detail, just let me know. Very excited. Live with total freedom. Free mind, free time, free life. Do what matters most. Do it right now.